Hello and welcome to another Crush on Stamping video. My name is Merritt Pissarro and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I thought we would take an in-depth look at the Candy Cane Season stamp set. This stamp set is found in the 2018 Holiday Catalog from Stampin' Up! You can find it on page 20. It is a photopolymer set. There's 14 pieces in the stamp set. And Stampin' Up! Is also offering a matching candy cane builder punch. This extends the usefulness of this stamp set because you can easily crop out some of the images. And when you purchase the two together, you can save 10%. You can find these products on my online store at Crushonstamping.com and click on the shop button. So let's stamp out some of these fun images. Today we're going to use Poppy Parade. And of course, in the stamp set, there is a traditional candy cane image. So I'm going to ink that up and show you how nicely that stamps. Now I'm using Whisper White cardstock. I mention that because if you're not happy with the way some of your stamped images are turning out, it might be your cardstock. Stampin' Up! Has developed an 80-pound ultra smooth cardstock we offer in Whisper White and Very Vanilla. And these cardstocks are designed or formulated to work beautifully with our inks, so you get the best possible end result. Now there's also an outline image within the stamp set, so I'm going to stamp that. So you could hand color that in or just crop it out with the punch like that, but there's also a fun word image that you can actually stamp inside. So we're going to also use the Shaded Spruce ink, which is a fun new green this year, and you can stamp that image right inside your candy cane. There's also a candy cane image that is in the sharp shape of a heart. So that makes a fun image. And there's some words in the stamp set also. It's the words "for you." So you can either crop this out and have it be a little tag for your candy cane, or these will actually fit nicely inside your hearts. Now there's some other coordinating images within the set. There are the words "'Tis the sweet season." So that makes a fun image as well. And my favorite is "Be Jolly." Isn't that cute? Okay, so there's some more images that work. Now this does not punch out of the Candy Cane Builder punch, but it's still a nice addition to the set. It's actually some holly leaves with holly berries. This is a two-step stamp so that there's a bottom solid image and then a more outline image. So I'll show you how those look. I'm going to use a lighter colored green for the bottom image, which happens to be mint macaron. So let me stamp that over here. So there's our mint macaron, and then you go in, or I'll actually stamp out the top image so you can see what that looks like. So you can actually stamp these separate, or when you put them together, it really makes a very dimensional looking image. So let me stamp those together. So again, our mint macaron is on the bottom, and going back in with our Shaded Spruce. Over the top. And that makes a really fun image. Of course, it's not complete without some holly berries. So there's 3 little berries. And you might be wondering, why this teeny tiny stamp did I mount that on such a large block? And I did that so that I don't have any of the edges of the smaller block impeding my view when I'm trying to stamp this around this holly berry stem. So that's just a little trick I use. So that way you can get good placement with your holly berries. Okay, let's go back to an image that works with our builder punch, and that happens to be a two-step bow. So there's a solid image and an outline image. So for this instance, I'm going to bring in Flirty Flamingo for our bottom image, and I'll stamp that for you. So that's solid, and that looks really cute like that. And then I'm going to do the outline image in our Poppy Parade. And of course, when you put the two together, that's when all the magic really happens. Go in with our Poppy Parade now. So cute. Okay, and there's two other images in the set. So you can see you get quite a few pieces in this. And one of them happens to be, to me they kind of look like the inside of the little candy cane, like discs, or it could be snowflakes, but a fun image. And then there's one other image that is included that when I first saw it, I thought, oh, they've given us a tag image. But in actuality, it's something a little different, which is nice. So the important thing with this stamp is that you need to make sure you have it oriented correctly. The words say ho, 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 but if you stamp it upside down, it says o, o, o. So you might want to double check yourself before stamping that. So I'm going to show this inked up in our Shaded Spruce. Again, make sure it's reading correctly. And there you go. So, you know, it does mimic the shape of a tag, but they've also done this very cleverly, because once you start playing with it, you can see what they actually designed it to do. So I'm going to ink that up again, and I'm going to take this piece of paper and I'm going to stamp it in the bottom corner of this paper. Now notice it has this zigzag. I'm going to ink it up again, and because it's zigzagged on the bottom and the top, I can actually bring this in and line that up so that you can actually create an all-over background. I'll show you again. Now, when you're stamping next to it, you want to be daring. You want to get it as close as you can, because it will show a gap if you're not daring. So I did pretty good on that one. The more you work with the stamp, I think the easier it becomes to get it lined up. And with it being photopolymer, I feel like it really is fairly easy to get the hang of it, so you can see. So let me show you on this one what I'm talking about. If you're not daring, you're gonna have a small gap in between. But as you get braver, it turns into an all-over pattern. So this is really fun. You could actually use your punch, which I haven't even shown you how to use the punch yet. So I'll go ahead and do that with this one. So here's the punch. Again, it has the candy cane and the bow. So if you turn it over, you can actually punch this background, and you get images that have the ho, ho, ho on it. So that's really cute. Whoops. And you can actually do that in multicolors. So I think you've seen this on the video that I've been using this as a placeholder. So this is the green outline and then the ho, ho, ho. Now there's one other fun technique that you can use with this ho, ho, ho stamp, and that's called the kissing technique. So what that is we're going to ink up one more time with our Shaded Spruce on the stamp, and we're going to bring back in our bow image. That's the solid image, okay? So let me clean that real quick, because instead of doing Flirty Flamingo, I'm going to go with Poppy Parade. So I'm going to ink up my stamp with the Poppy Parade, and I've already inked up my ho, ho, ho. And again, I want to make sure I'm going in the right direction, or I'll have o, o, o instead. But I'm going to kiss the two stamps together. So this one has been inked, this one has been inked, and now I'm going to actually very gently set the stamp down on that, and I'm going to be able to transfer that pattern onto my image. So now I have ho ho ho. So, and when you do it in that fashion, let me show you this. So when you crop out your bow, you have a white border around your image. So by doing it this way, you actually get it to say ho 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 and stay just right on the red. Whereas if you stamp it all over, it comes outside the outside lines of the bow. I hope that makes sense. So you can do it either way, and it's cute. I just think it's kind of fun to have that kissing technique. So one other cute little way to do that is actually to put a little rhinestone on the center of your bow. Now I wanted to show you a few more card examples, because when I saw this set, I'm not a big candy cane fan, but as far as the taste goes, but you know, I remember that at the holiday season they come out with not only red and white, but they have all these fancy flavors and such, which again, I'm still not a super big fan of the taste of candy canes, but what that spurred in me was the fact that there's multiple colors of candy cane. So this is a sweet little card that has every color of candy cane in it, and 'tis the sweet season. And we sell these little note cards and envelopes in our catalog, and I seem to have misplaced the envelope that goes with this one. And again, this is that 'tis the sweet season. So this is a cute size to be able to slip onto somebody's desk or just on a package. And then I went really crazy with the rainbow and did this card. So I stamped it all the different colors of the candy cane, and then instead of using the stamp images with the bow, I decided to make it sparkly, so I used some of our Dazzling Diamonds glitter paper, and I hand colored our rhinestones to match the colors of the candy cane. And then I just ink blended on a piece of Whisper White cardstock and punched it out with this border punch. Can't think of the name of it right now, sorry. But that makes a really fun card, and of course on the inside you can fancy it up as well. And these were the coin envelopes we used to sell. Seems like I got some ink on that, unfortunately, but so that's just another shape of a card. And I wanted to point out one more tip when it comes to stamping and punching things out. And I do this with all of my punching when I'm doing multiple images. And most of the time I am doing multiples. I don't usually make just one card. I usually make multiples of the same card. So I like to cut a strip of cardstock that is appropriate for my punch. So in this case, 2 3/4 by 11 is appropriate because it's wide enough for me to stick this in and get a full punched image and not have it so close that if I have it at too close of it to an end or an edge, then you run into trouble with the punching. So I wanted to show you this trick. So when I'm trying to do multiples, I want to be as efficient as possible. So I punch a strip, and this goes for, sorry, I keep interrupting myself. This goes for if you're using a stamped image with a punch, or even if you're just punching, say, shapes or labels or ornaments or whatever it happens to be. If you cut the strip of cardstock, you can actually save yourself with a lot of paper and punch all along that strip. So in this instance, though, you know, because the bow is on here as well, you could end up losing a lot of cardstock. So what I like to do is stamp my candy canes on the cardstock in a fashion that will make it efficient for punching with the punch. So on the left-hand side, I stamp it in the correct orientation. On the the right hand side, I turn it upside down, and you're going to see why in just a minute. And so I could go along here and actually stamp all the way to the center to fill this whole strip in, but right now I'm just going to do 2 on each side to show you what the method is for this becoming more efficient. So if I was, making a lot of Christmas cards, then I would fill up this whole strip, and then I would take my punch and I would put it in, and I would punch my image out on the left side, and then I would flip my cardstock over and punch my right side image. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm doing a repetitive motion that then I come in and trim off these 2 edges. I've had to pick up my scissors at this point. And I can now go in and punch again. So I get 2 punches and then I cut twice. And then I get 2 punches and I cut twice. And that actually, believe it or not, will speed up the process and just make it more efficient. So again, then I can just cut these edges off, because trying to fit that back into the punch gets all tangled up. But this way I can have my good punches and then of course my scrap. But by doing it in that fashion, I find that it really, really helps. And the other thing I've learned is that doing the image, let's see, where did I put, see, this is how I always work. I have, and I wonder if this happens to you too, I have the image that I just stamped and then I lose it and can't find it, but I had it 2 seconds ago. Okay, so here's the kissing technique. And by putting this in the proper place on the cardstock, I can again minimize the amount of cardstock that I'm wasting. So in this instance, the bow needs to be on the right-hand side of the paper. And so all you have to do to figure this out is obviously just put the paper in your punch before you start stamping and figure out what orientation is going to be the most paper saving and cost effective. So you can see I just got a little bit of that and I got my bow. So I hope that's helped. Let me show you one more card and give you a little teaser so that hopefully you'll watch my next video, which is this flat fold card. So this is an instance where punching out multiple bows and candy canes, the strip method would really be helpful. So this is a fun card that opens up like this and would make a fantastic holiday card for your friends and family. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned something today. I appreciate you spending time with me, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.